Ever wonder what it would be like if you had $1 million overnight? Or if tomorrow were the last day on Earth? So many possibilities, so much to talk about. So maybe you wanna take it from us.
Okay, range. Okay, he said I have a low voice.
Yeah,
I went
inspired
through
by
puberty.
Pixar. Yeah. All the Pixar films I ever watched, which is few and far between. But we'll dive into that into another episode. Hi guys, welcome back. We are back with another episode, and today we're going to be talking about something quite interesting, quite out there, out of the box. We're going to be talking about what ifs. So, a bit of a broad topic.
Yes.
I thought of this in the shower actually.
Okay,
and,
I mean that's where all the best ideas
yeah, of course,
come
of
from,
course.
right?
Yeah, like I cured cancer while in the shower, you know?
Okay,
I
keep
thought
me
of an idea.
updated.
Yeah. Nothing concrete, but okay, anyway. Yeah, so I thought about this concept of what if, where because I feel like right now we are at a stage in life where you really start to think about your future, you really start to think about different possibilities, and therefore you start thinking about different branches of potential reality that you could have gone on, or different paths that you could have gone on.
Yep.
But because of certain choices in life, that led you to this particular path that you have chosen today. So what I want to explore today is, what if you had taken a different path?
Okay.
Okay, but before we dive into that, let's talk about the nature of ourselves.
Sure.
In a sense of, are you a worrier or are you a warrior?
Am I a worrier or warrior? I would like to say both.
Oh.
But then I would think that I'm very much an overthinker in general. Like that's just the nature of how I am. Ever since, okay, I want to say ever since young, but I don't really remember like a starting cause or like a certain point where I was like, oh, like I started to worry about everything. But
Yeah.
I guess naturally throughout the years, maybe because I'm an older sister as well. So I feel like I'm the oldest sister, sorry. So then it feels that I need to like handle a lot of different things. I need to think of a lot of different things and certain responsibilities that come with being just the oldest child in the family. So you naturally tend to juggle a bit more, or you think a bit more broader in terms of like, oh, what you have to consider a lot of factors when you do things and
Yeah.
how it impacts perhaps your younger siblings or how you influence them, yada yada, etc. But anyway, so with that, I think I do worry quite a bit. Yeah, I'm just an overthinker. Like I have a lot of things up here. You may not believe it, but
Yeah, she does.
a lot of thoughts in my noggin up here. So I will look at a situation and I will tend to think through a lot of things that could happen, or not even just things that could happen. Sometimes it's things that have already happened, and I look back and I'm like, oh, what if I like did that, or like, okay, if I change this, would yada yada have changed as well. Yeah. So, but I would also like to say that I think I'm strong.
Say that with confidence.
Yeah. I need to like work on it. No, but I think that because also just because of what life has thrown at me, obviously over the years I've also learned to stop myself from overthinking, or at least I'm on the path to like getting better and grappling with my all of the messiness inside my head. So yeah, I think that's how I'd sum it up for starters at least. Yeah.
Such a well thought out answer. I'm like flat
What's
out.
yours?
I'm flat out a warrior. Like
Really?
not
Okay,
a warrior.
okay, yeah.
Because I feel like over the past few experiences that over the past few years, all of what I've experienced has shown me that like I worry a lot about things, and I don't necessarily have the strength nor independence of a warrior to deal with the problems at hand. That's not to say that I don't overcome them. I do overcome them. Just that, do I go through it with strength and confidence? No, but I still get through my problems, all my experiences, no problemo.
So how would you define like somebody who's a warrior? Like what's their characteristic? What's their trait?
I would say that someone who is a warrior is someone who is strong in their opinions. Maybe that was wrongly phrased. Really struggling with this clearly.
It's
but
too early to,
yeah, way too
to have
early.
this sort of conversation, huh?
I think someone who is confident in their opinions, who takes in what people say, albeit if it's different, if it's like very strongly against what they have in mind,
Okay.
but they still choose to do it their way, and like they go through it with confidence and they don't shake in their opinions. I think that is someone who is a warrior in that you don't really get affected by what other people say. I feel like you have something to
But I feel like
say
you
against
do
it.
embody that though.
Really?
Like when you...
It can be confused with stubbornness lah. So like let's put it out there that like, you know, it could be
Okay,
one or the
maybe,
other.
yeah. No, but then there would be a difference between being a warrior and being stubborn. Oh, maybe warrior is like the archetype and then stubbornness is a trait.
Maybe.
As in, because I think you are also, based on our, 2 years and less of a
yeah, our
friendship.
grand total of 2 years.
yeah. I think you're the type of person that's very much like just, if you're set on something, you're pretty much set on that path. And if people tell you otherwise, you're like, yeah, okay, but I'm gonna do it my way.
Screw you.
Yeah, unless obviously what they say is, strikes a chord with you. And you're like, oh shit, like okay, maybe I do actually have to think about that. But yeah,
Well,
so isn't that
I think
literally
that's-
what you said about strong opinions and
I think that's what people usually see on the surface. Maybe that's what people see, but actually behind the scenes, if I really do value your opinions,
Yeah.
or if your opinions are really constructive and really hold weight to them, like it's not airy-fairy like criticism,
okay,
I would seriously second guess myself and doubt myself as a result of it. I think warriors are very independent as well and very geared on getting the problem done, like getting the problem solved and like we move. You know, it's the perfect.
that's
Yeah. That's her phrase, but I just stole it. But it's a very characteristic, idiosyncratic like embodiment of we
Right.
move, and
Okay.
I cannot do that. Like I always second guess myself. Yeah.
so has there never been a point in time where you were confident, like this is what I'm gonna do, this is my path?
Not really. I've had a
Oh,
lot more.
okay.
Yeah, I've a lot more times where I thought to myself, "Is this the right thing to do? Is this the best option? Is this the best way to do things?" And more often than not, I'm shown that it's not. And that's like a whole repeating cycle. Like I have this question in my head,
Right.
it gets answered with like, "Yeah, you're actually thinking wrongly," and then that just festers the entire
Chicken
cycle.
and egg scenario.
Yeah,
as well, right?
100%. And it just keeps going. So it's
Right,
like
right.
there's never a point in time where I feel resolution
Right.
in my options, in my choices.
Why do you think that way though?
Why do I think I feel that way?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this has turned into a really deep episode. Okay,
Start like searching within your soul.
I think specifically what? Like what am
Why do you think you are a warrior more so than a warrior?
because
Is it like external influence, nature, nurture? Yeah.
I think inherently it's both. My mom also is like warrior.
Okay.
Yeah. My dad, I think, is a warrior. Like he doesn't really give a he's living life. Yeah, with
he
no risk.
should.
Yeah, right. But so should my mom. But my mom really worries a lot of things, and I think growing up, that family upbringing distilled into the way that I live life. A very easy example is like at the end of the day, do you worry about whether your door is locked? Do you worry about
Wait, but I
whether-
think that's a little different though.
why?
Your door is... There's safety. Bruh, I could get killed. Of course you should worry whether your door is locked.
but like, is it a conscious effort or is it like a subconscious? Okay, no.
What do you mean by that?
I think
As
I'm
in-
diving into the wrong hole here. But what's a better example? Okay, let's say like are all your windows closed? Is your stove off? And all of that. Like all the minor details. Maybe not just the door, but like are the lights off, everything, and then you just check. And you're meticulous about your checking. And do you worry about it?
No, I think that's different. I think that's
Really?
meticulousness. I don't think that's worry. I think if we're saying worrying, it's for example, you look at the weather and you say, oh, it's slightly cloudy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but should I bring in the washing or should I leave it outside? Should I bring an umbrella outside? Should I bring a raincoat? Do I plan my schedule in advance so that, okay, I come home by hopefully before the rain starts, that sort of thing. If you're saying stuff like checking like the stove and whatnot, people just don't want to die, man. And people just want to save electricity, like you know.
Real?
So I think
Real.
it's not. I guess also maybe okay. To be fair, different upbringing as well. I think it's just maybe because my family is very much like make sure everything is off, make sure like
Yeah.
like you do check just so for safety reasons and stuff. Maybe because Singapore is also safer than most countries, so people don't naturally are not naturally inclined to check. But I think if you live overseas, that's just a natural routine that you have to have because girl, we want to stay alive out here, you know. So I think that's more so of something that I think you just it's like a routine that you inculcate as you grow older, especially if you have kids as well. As a parent, I think you always want to make sure.
Okay, then
I
I'm
think-
I'm rethinking my definition of what defines a warrior and worrier. But
I would think a warrior is just more someone who just like really thinks through, like runs through all these different possible scenarios in their head of like, okay, like what do I pack in my bag today? Should I pack
Okay,
an
yeah, but-
umbrella,
yeah.
that sort of thing? Or
But-
some people just leave the house, wallet, keys, I'm living life, you know? Yeah.
But that's me though for like trips, for instance. Like I don't think about that on my day to day because my day to day is quite routine.
Okay.
But like on trips, like yeah, I do really worry whether or not I have things. And I do know of friends as well
Yeah.
who like, no, just pack the bare minimum, have a list, and then after that, anything that you don't have, you just buy. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
buy
yeah.
over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And they don't worry about it, but I worry about it. And
So
every
you'd rather
single-
not have it like, you'd rather be extra prepared for anything that happens your way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Okay,
and even
okay.
when I'm out of the house, like, and I have all my things on me, I just make sure that everything is there. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like every single time I move. But also, like,
Okay.
on the topic of friends, I do think they also serve as an influence, or rather a marker as to whether or not I'm a worrier or warrior. For instance, in comparison to some of the friends that I have in my inner circle, I would say I'm a warrior compared to them because they really worry about a lot of things. They really worry
Okay.
about the what ifs, which we'll get onto in a bit.
Yeah.
But I do think that in comparison to some of my friends, I worry a lot less, and I'm a bit more of a warrior. But in comparison to the general public, I do know of people who, and I've been close to people who are warriors who really don't second guess themselves, don't doubt themselves. They know exactly what to do and they do it. And that to me is like, whoa, I have a lot more catching up to do if
Okay.
I aspire to become a warrior. Yeah.
So do you aspire to become a warrior? Do you think it's bad that you are a warrior?
I don't.
'Cause I need like
I-
enunciate properly.
Yeah.
If not, you're like it all starts with
Enunciation
W.
101.
Yeah.
I think it's not. I think it's not inherently bad, but I think it will become bad if you never feel confident in your opinions.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
the trait of being, I think you being a warrior or warrior is just a title, but the traits that come with it is something that you might want to take a closer look at. For me, I don't like second guessing myself. I don't like feeling like I could have chosen something else, which is why like when that happens, when I do second guess myself,
Yeah.
what I usually tell my friends, and likewise I probably have told you before, like, it's okay, you've chosen already, don't regret. I think regretting is something that warriors tend to do a lot, and therefore I just that happens. Like
Yeah.
for me, I'm a warrior, that comes, but what I tell myself is I choose to just shut down this regret. Like I don't think
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
possibilities,
Okay.
just work with what you have and
Yeah,
be content
yeah.
with what you have. But naturally, because I'm a warrior, it comes, and I don't like it coming so much. So I want to change that nature of mine through nurturing, and therefore I aspire to become a warrior in the sense that I aspire to have that level of confidence in what I choose to do. Yeah.
That was a lot of words I'm processing.
Right,
with.
right. Yeah, I know. It's-
But don't you think that regret will always? Okay, the topic of regret is a very big thing. I think number one, whether or not you choose to regret, I think people subconsciously will regret as well if they see, for example, a different alternative life path, very similar to yours. Maybe you took up a certain job or you said yes to something.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, maybe you said no to something. Somebody
Okay.
else similar to you said yes, and then you see them progressing in a way that you look at it, you're like, damn, I could have had that. Or like, damn, I
Okay.
could have made that much money. Damn, I could have yada, 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 right? So I think like naturally you do feel regret. But it's more of like what you said, how you choose to then view it, right? Do you just like, are you like, down in the dumps, like, oh my gosh, what? Or are you like, okay, that's what I did, but you live with what you do and we move,
Yeah.
right? But
So-
then, yeah.
So
say.
how do you process it? I would figure, knowing you,
Yeah.
it's probably the latter of just we move.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure. As in, life is, you have one shot at life, and that's it.
Real.
And
Real.
no matter
YOLO.
get that tattooed on your head.
Yeah,
Like, hashtag YOLO. No, I think if you only have one shot in life, and I think if you spend time regretting, you miss out on what you have in present opportunities. I think,
Yeah.
to be fair, I'm religious, so I do have my trust and faith as well in God's plan. Cue the song by Drake. That's right, God's plan.
Throwback to our
Alright.
previous episode. Go check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a believer that at least like no matter what happens, it's okay. Like
Yeah.
God has a plan for me. But even if I were to remove religion from all this, I'm also a very firm believer in the fact that no matter what happens, it will all genuinely be okay. Like no matter what I overthink about or whatever, it will never be like the worst of my life. Like even if for sure people go through that, but I always feel like there's a way to get out of it or to see some sort of beauty or some sort of joy or find pleasure in the simple things, if you will,
Yeah.
within that. But also on top of that, like a quote that I recently found, which maybe like 2 weeks back or 3 weeks back, and like I like it so much, like I've stuck it on my wall as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually rejection is redirection. Yeah.
Rejection is redirection.
So sometimes you regret doing certain things, or sometimes, okay, regret, I use it as a very loose term, but sometimes you regret it, or you're like, like I got rejected from this, or like, shoot, like I didn't get to do this, I didn't get to fulfill that. But sometimes, that I'm going to speak in cliches this whole entire episode. When one door closes, the other one opens,
And if it doesn't open, create your own.
Of course, and there are many, many doors in
Yeah.
this whole entire
Yeah.
life.
Like
I
Monster
have-
Inc.
Correct.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Monsters
yeah.
Inc. Yeah. So, like sometimes, rejection is redirection. You thought you were going to go on this path, but maybe life just didn't work out that way. And that's okay. Maybe you're directed to another path that you didn't even know existed until then. So I guess that's kind of, like I said, I'm a worrier in terms of like, I really do overthink a lot. But I think over the years, I've tried to cultivate this mindset of like, okay, like it's really not that bad. Like stop over analyzing everything, exaggerating everything because it's just too much for here, and it's really like it's way too pressurizing. Would not recommend doing that. But I think that's how I would deal with regret in terms of just having that mindset, and then you just use what you have and try your best. Yeah.
But on the topic of when one door closes, another door opens, I feel like that kind of mindset only applies to things that you have no control over. Like you are not the one controlling whether the door opens or not. It's other people. Let's say job opportunities. You submit like 20 different applications.
So why don't you submit 40?
Okay, so you submit 40,
Yeah.
but you get rejected from like all 40. That is
Okay.
the door being shut on you.
So then you switch path and find another door. Maybe instead of going in a tech career in this field,
Okay.
we do a different field instead.
So what if the situation were that you had control over the doors? And so the situation that I'm trying to paint out and to try and eke out the thoughts from you is that what if like I had control over whether I open the door or not? So that
Okay.
means like I chose this path. I chose the tech path
Okay.
instead of like I don't know, HR path.
Okay.
So I shut the door on HR. I
Yeah.
opened the door to tech.
Yeah.
But there comes a lot of regret. Then how do you deal? What is your mindset when you go through that? Like that I should have
Either
opened
way.
this other door instead.
Nothing's
Like do-
stopping you from opening that door too. You
I'm
can
trying-
still pivot from. Okay, we're talking about this in very like abstract terms.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for example, you open one door. Okay, let's just use job
Yeah.
opportunities. You decide, okay, I want to do a career in tech because that's where all the money is at. I'm kidding. No. Okay, yeah. So you want to do a career in tech because
Yeah.
like girl in STEM or whatever. I open that door. I start. Okay, I'm doing this. I realize it's not for me. I can't keep up, or like the pace is too much. I'm pressurized.
Yep.
I suck at coding, can't do shit. So then I go, okay, shit, I opened that door like maybe 5 years ago, worked through it, realized that I'm burnt out, I'm stressed, whatever. Why can't I just, why can't I decide, okay, maybe I will try to leave the tech industry, or I pivot out of, instead of doing software engineering for tech, maybe I'll do like product marketing, or I do something else in tech.
But do
Because
you
if I
regret?
still-
Do you regret the 5 years that you did? That led to like so much harm, so much regret, so much grief.
But it's all about perspective, right? Because you can regret it. I think it's natural to regret it. Oh, you can think, okay, yeah, I wasted 5 years doing. I wasted 5 years, like going through all this shit for what? And like, there's no reward from it. But you can also be like, okay, but at least I also know what's my non-negotiable, what I don't want in a job, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, this industry really isn't for me. Or you can also tell yourself, hey, I worked 5 years in this industry. Like I really tried within these 5 years to make it work. I didn't quit within like 6 months. I decided to push on, and that shows a test of perseverance as well. Whether or not it actually reaps the rewards. Your rewards can be intangible or tangible benefits, right? And so
100%.
I think people very much focus on tangible. Okay, I'm not making enough money. Oh, I'm so like stressed out and all, which is obviously very important. That's not to say it isn't, but at the end of the day, you can also think of it in terms of, okay, the 5 years is 5 years, but here's what I also learned or what I gained out of this. Maybe it's the friends that I made along
Yeah.
the way, right? Like,
Aw.
like maybe, okay, I hate this industry, but hey, I have solid friends out there,
Yeah.
and if I ever need help, they're there. Or if I ever need help coding something, I got my homies, that sort of thing. So I think it's really just a positivity mindset thing. Then again, I'm also very privileged to say this myself because I think that's just how I've been brought up, to have a very positive mindset. I know that it can get like it's hard to hold on to that
Yeah.
positivity. When shit hits the fan. Yeah.
I do think to add on to that also, like, you needn't, in my opinion, you needn't even have a positive mindset when it comes to this, but
Okay.
you need to have a very realistic mindset as a baseline. What do I mean by this? I mean, like, if shit were to hit the fan, let's say nothing is going in your favor, absolutely nothing. You chose a path, and the path turns out to be super thorny, super difficult to go on. I think what's most important is, as much as you can tell yourself like, oh, stay positive and whatnot, it's very important to recognize that this is a shit path that you're on.
Oh yeah.
To acknowledge it and to just embrace it, like, hey, this is an absolutely shit time that I'm going through. Nothing's going in my favor, and that's okay. We take it like a champ, and then you think about what the game plan is going forward, and that's where the realism comes into play. I think at least that's the method that I've been going through my life with. In
So
that,
that's
like,
what you've been embracing your whole
yeah,
So
because
you're okay with making mistakes,
yeah, 100%. Wait,
which I think I mean, because
I think I'm not okay with making mistakes, but like, I'm not okay if I were to commit a mistake. But when it does happen already,
yeah.
I don't think about like, oh, I should have. What if I had done this? What should I have
So
done?
then you're not a worrier, no?
Wow,
Links
really,
back to the
really,
idea
really,
of
really
regret.
changing my entire core right now. But okay, but like my thinking is more like just do. Yeah, so I have a just do mentality, or what's next.
So now
Then-
you're not confident and strong in your own opinion if you're gonna just do it.
I think in that moment,
This is like giving therapy.
yeah, 100%. Like, okay, doc. So, okay. I do think about like, maybe I am a warrior in that sense where I just think like, just do what's next. Don't think what if in that moment. But
Okay.
when I do have the luxury of time and the space to really think about like certain paths or choices that I made, then I do like think, shoot, what if I had done this? And I think regret also does set in. I don't know
Okay.
if warriors experience regret. That might be a very narrow-minded thing to say, but like, my impression is that warriors don't regret. Like, even
I have
if
a
there are
different-
things,
Yeah, mine's a different impression. I think everybody regrets. I think it's what you choose to do with the regret. A warrior is somebody who gets stuck in that regret and who's more of like, oh, but I should have done this, I should have done that. Warrior
Okay.
goes, okay, I recognize I have that regret, but like, that's life and we move.
interesting. Okay, then maybe
That's my perception of it, at least. I mean, everyone has their own, has their own thinking about it for sure.
interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, lor, so going back to what I was saying about like just being realistic with what you're gonna do going forward, I think that's an important thing to have, to acknowledge how shit the situation is, that you
Yeah.
want it to change, and what you're gonna do to change it. And then if you realize that there's nothing that you can change, let's say it's already a decision that you made, and all you can think about is the what ifs and not what next, then if there's nothing for you to change afterwards, then don't think about what ifs, so that you don't bring
If
about
there's
that
nothing
worries.
for you to change afterwards, then don't think about the
Like,
what
if there's nothing that you can do to change your situation, what you should be thinking of is perhaps not what could I have done in the past, because you can't change the past, and as opposed to what can I change in the present, what can I do now.
But I think that's in general, right? For any situation.
But you'd be surprised at how many people think about the what ifs, like oh, I should have done this, I should have
I
done that.
know, but as in you think about it for sure.
Yeah.
Every night before I go to bed, bro, I'm reflecting on like my most embarrassing moments of my life. Like it's like
Damn.
a highlight reel in my head. Like
Wow.
back when I was like 12, this happened. Damn,
2019,
maybe
2015
Yeah, and
throwback.
because I talk a lot as well, so sometimes I say I talk faster than I think. So sometimes I say shit, then I realize, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
Actually, I do
so-
that in the shower. Like, I
yours?
think-
Okay, no, mine's
yeah.
before. Yeah, mine's right before I sleep.
But mine is
so-
like the days reel, like the days
Oh,
highlights.
it's just
yeah,
the day.
like, shit, yeah. I
So you know,
said this.
Instagram stories are like on this day.
Yeah. That
But,
goes
like,
in my head.
yeah. No, so then like I think you just think about it, but like whether or not you you focus on it. It's more of where you focus it, I guess. Like to what you're saying. Like I think everybody thinks about it. I think it's normal. I think if you don't, damn, like let me know. I'd love to like interview you and like tell me what's up with your brain, because I would love that mindset. But I think it's just natural for everyone to like, "Ah, I should have done that. I should have done this," because we're always so worried about what other people think and about perceptions and whatnot, etc. So I think that's normal, but like
It's
like
whether
what
you
we've been
get
saying.
hung up on it, lah.
Yeah,
That's
correct,
what
correct.
counts.
I mean, in general, like people think of the past for sure, but then or what everybody says, all your self-help books, what advice everybody gives is always like, oh, you should focus on the present. You should like think about like what you should do. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, but I think another important thing is whether or not you vocalize it. And then the guys' team, we came in second. One teammate came up to me and was like, if you had competed, we might have won gold.